All right, so my name's Jeremy. I work with PermaSafe. I'm part of Clean Car Distributors, which is one of their national distributors. And what I'm going to show you today is the alternative way to apply PermaSafe within a vehicle, just how to set it up and break it down when you're done. From there, you can use the Fog Master spray video for the spray application video that they have to do that. So to start off, your box is basically going to come with a bunch of different parts. So what you're first going to have is the gun itself. And it's going to come, first off, without this male connector lead. So typically what you have is an air hose that you need. So if you're going to be doing this inside of a garage, which is pretty typical, you want to make sure that you have the right male lead or female lead for the connector. So, you know, that way when you pop it on, it's actually going to spray. So the next thing that you're going to have inside there is a little filter. And what that's going to do is it's going to go inside right here. And what that's going to help with is just the spray that's coming out. So you pop that in there. And next, then you just have the basin where all of your fluid's going to be. You're going to spin that on. And now you're pretty much good to go. So what we're going to do is put this up to the hose. As you see, nothing's coming out right now. So we're going to put a little bit of water in it. So the reason that we're putting the water in it is because this product obviously is not, you know, very expensive, or is a little expensive. So you want to make sure that you're not wasting any of your product to try to get the settings right. So there are three different things that you have that you control with the gun itself. You've got the air that's coming out into the gun. You've got your spray pattern right here. And then this little nozzle or this little gadget actually controls the amount of fluid that's coming out. So what you're trying to do basically is get a fine mist on your hand, so that way you're not letting out too much product as you go through it. So there, as you can see, not much is coming out, so I'm going to keep trying to bring a little more fluid into it. See? And then you can actually see that my hand has a fine mist. So we actually have a good amount of fluid coming out right now. And then with this, you can work on the amount of spray that you want to. With this nozzle right here, what you can work on is your spray pattern. So right now, as you see, it's coming straight out. So this would be good if you're like going into the cabin air filter with the recirculation vents on and the AC up. You pull out that cabin air filter and you want to shoot it up into the system itself. You've got a nice, fine, straightforward path for it. And that's going to pull it through the vents that allows step 1 and step 2 to circulate throughout the AC system. But then you can obviously then take this and open it up if you want. As you can see, it's kind of changing a little bit. Now it's got more of a wide spray that actually can touch my entire hand. And then the last part is this fluid. So if I turn it all the way to the right, when I shoot it, nothing is coming out. So what you want to do is really get kind of good at how much fluid do I want to let out. So say if I open it up all the way, it's going to soak my hand very quickly. So you want to kind of find that fine mist. As you can see, kind of a fine mist, not really much on my hand. I may even try to open that up a little bit more. So once you have that, what you're basically going to do is dump out your water. And now you're good to basically take your step 1 and your step 2. You'll start with step 1. It should be about a 7 to 8 minute process. You pour it in and you start touching every surface of the car. And you're going to do it from the trunk all the way through the headliner, underneath the seats, on the floors, push the seats back and forward, as well as through the AC vent and any electronics as well. Also, I didn't mention you want to also hit the carpets on both sides, since both sides could potentially have, you know, germs or other microorganisms on it. So when you're finished with that, what you want to do is obviously disconnect it from the hose. If you have any product left over, definitely put it back into step 1 or step 2's bottle. They can go together, but we don't recommend it because obviously, once again, you know, you're paying a certain dollar amount per unit, which are 2 8-ounce bottles. So sometimes you might have a little bit less or you might have a little bit more. Having a little bit extra on hand for like a bigger SUV will actually be really great for you. That way you don't have to tap into a new bottle. So when you're finished, it's really important that you take the assembly apart. So First thing you want to do is you want to take off this top basin. And what we're going to do is just open it up. You want to make sure you just rinse it out and let it dry. Second part is that little filter that was in there. You want to make sure to take it out. And I'm going to do a little, I have this fork here that's actually pretty good at grabbing it. Almost there. Here we go. So you want to pull that out, make sure that you rinse it off, dry it out as well. And then the last thing you want to do, or the last two things, you want to make sure that you take the spray handle or the spray nozzle off too. And it might pop a little bit, so just be careful. It's going to come off, and it's got the spring that goes with it, and then it's got the little rod. And of course, my hands are wet, so it makes it a little tough. Come back here. There we go. So you're going to pull that out. And the reason you want to do that is this is metal. If you let it get wet, it's going to start to rust. So you want to take that out. Let that dry as well. And the last thing you want to do is take this thing off as well. As you may see, there could be some water. You just want to make sure that this thing's all rinsed out and has time to dry, because all these parts are metal. You get this at Harbor Freight, and basically these metals could rust if you let it sit for too long. So once you're done, basically just leave it there, wherever your setup is. Make sure that you keep it all together, maybe in the box that it came in, and that's pretty much it. Whenever you're ready to use it again, you just put it back together, which we can do real quick. So first I'm going to start putting this rod through, and it's got a little feed. It's kind of hard to see, but it basically attaches to like a little hole that you want to push it through. You put your spring on, and then your nozzle, your little control. And this can be a little tough, so I'm going to use a little force. Usually some good fulcrum strength will get it back together for you. So that's back on. And you put your little filter back in and the basin back on. That's it. Now you're ready to roll again. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. Thank you.